Hey guys, wanted to do a quick video today. It's been a busy week, so bear with me a little bit here. I did get my new touring car built. The 3Racing Integy SG4, and I had to do a total facelift on the TTO1 for the two classes that I'm going to be running in to start with. So here's both of them in the picture. I'm really impressed with this SG4. It's a dual belt uh, touring car, and it's got a lot of all-out race features on it already. It comes factory with the one-way in the front and a diff in the back, which is something that a lot of cars don't come with. Most of them come with diffs, front and rear, and you end up having to put a one-way in them anyway. So I am going to get a second diff for the car just in case I have to run on a tight track this season. But for the most part, I'll probably just run the one way. I'll go over the electronics in the car because it's a little bit different than doing the bashing and speed run stuff when you're doing club racing and organized racing. One of the rules that they have is you have to run hard case lipos, which this one and everything comes with a hard case on it. It's because of a safety thing. And you also have to run a connector. It doesn't matter what it is. You can run an XT60, you can run Dean's, you can run Traxxas, whatever. They just need to be able to, the marshals need to be able in a situation be able to unplug the battery completely from the car. So with the efficiency of lipos and stuff anymore in this day and age, you're not losing anything going through a connector anyway. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was running NIMP batteries that we used to direct solder right before the race. We would direct solder the battery to the ESC thinking that it would give you more power or whatever. I don't know if it actually did. It's just what we did in the race cars, and that stuff is stuff that you don't need to do anymore. I'll go over the electronics in the car real quick just so you guys know what's in it. It's set up right now for mod touring car. I am gonna get a 13.5 motor for it because this is a Surpass Hobby 4.5 turn censored motor, and it's the car is going to be extremely fast. I've got I think it's a Power Hobby 35 kilogram weight low profile servo for steering. Servo seems to work awesome. I went with the low profile in this car just to give me a little bit more space for mounting the receiver and other stuff. So it's got a 10BL 120 HobbyWing ESC in it. I run HobbyWing ESCs in everything because of ease of adjustability and tunability, and I can use the same program card for all the cars and everything. So I'm really impressed with this SG4. It comes with a ton of features that a lot of cars you would have to order the stuff separate. I mean, it comes with front and rear sway bars. It comes with CVDs on all four wheels. Let's see, it's got the one way in the front instead of a diff in the front. And it's a really good quality car. It wasn't a super expensive touring car, but I think it's going to compete just fine. There's where I'm going to be racing at. There's a lot of guys running this exact chassis, and so parts are readily available for it at the shop down there and stuff. Integy and 3Racing actually have a distributor or warehouse or whatever you want to call it right down here in California. So getting parts for it and stuff will be really easy, and that was a big factor for me in doing this. So if you have any questions about the car, just let me know and in the comments, and I'll answer all the questions you guys have about it. Like it says, I wanted to do a build video on it, but I just didn't have the time because I'm running out of time on being ready. So I still waiting on a couple of things for it this week. So I got a little bit of time before the season opener. So I got bodies coming and transponders coming for them, because I don't know if you guys, if it's not like bashing, you know, there's a lap counting system, so it's pretty much mandatory that you have a transponder in this day and age if you're gonna race. It's just an expense you account for when you get into racing. And then I actually went through and did a total rebuild and facelift on my TTO1, because I'm going to be racing it in the TTO1. It's actually kind of a mod brush class, and this is the first time I've ran brushed in a long time. But it's so much easier to set up a brushed car now than it used to be. Again, hard case 2S lipo fits right in the bay. So I'm good there. On the motors, it has to be a Tamiya motor. So I chose to go with one that's a little bit harder to find than a lot of motors, but I wanted the performance out of it. So I found a hobby shop down in California that carries these in stock. And this is actually a RZ version Tamiya motor. So as you can see, it's not like a standard Tamiya motor. You can change the brushes out on it. You can take it apart. So if you want to turn the comm or need to turn the comm, you can. And it's a really nice motor. It's a RZ, and I know they run a lot of these in Japan. So it's a really, really high performance brushed motor that is made by Tamiya, so it's legal to run in the class. And a lot of other guys down there are running this exact same motor, so I know it's a quality motor because it performs really well. Otherwise, guys wouldn't be running it. As far as electronics, this one has it has a HobbyWing. It's a brushed ESC. It's 80 amp, capable of running 2S and 3S. And this one has a Power Hobby 35 kilogram servo in it also. It's just not the low profile one. And I really didn't need to go that heavy on the servo in this car, I don't think. I've had a little bit of time now. I kind of was pinched when I got the car to get it ready for Poor Boys and the Speed Run Challenge. But now that I've been able to go through the car and set it up correctly, I think if they decide to use TTO ones or TTOs next year, or somebody else decides to do a Speed Run Challenge, I think I'm ready for it this time. I needed to spend a little bit of time with the car to get it dialed in, and now it is pretty well where I want it to be. You can only do certain mods to them for the Tamiya classes. Like I said, again, I'm legal on all the electronics in the car. And then really you can't do a ton of like mods to it. So you have to run Tamiya gearing, and the TTO ones aren't like the TTO 2, so you're kind of selective on the gearing. You can either run a 61 tooth spur, you can run a 58 tooth spur, or a 55 tooth, because that's what Tamiya makes. So I chose to start with a 55 tooth and a 25 tooth pinion, and we're going to see how it goes. I can gear it up, or I can go to the 58 spur and actually gear it down if I need to. We'll just have to wait and see. And then as far as the other mods, everybody's running oil-filled shocks. I bought these shocks and I tried to save a buck, and I'll probably never do that again because I fought and fought to get them to quit leaking, and I finally have. But I ended up having to put new seals in them and a ton of stuff, and getting the parts and rebuilding the shocks with the proper stuff actually cost me more than the shocks. So I don't know if it was worth it or not, but at this point now they're not leaking and they seem to be pretty decent shocks, so I'm gonna run them. And then really the only other things I've done to it are the aluminum steering, the aluminum drive shaft, and the drive cups, and aluminum hexes on the wheels, and that's it. And so I think it's going to be a contender also this year. We'll see how it goes as the season gets in. And again, if you guys have any questions about this car, just post them in the comments, and I'll answer the questions as best I can and give you the information you need. Some of the stuff for this car I bought on Amazon, so I'm not going to post the links for that stuff because I'm having some issues with Amazon right now. And I've been trying lately to get a lot more stuff from other places other than Amazon. Mainly what the only stuff I got on Amazon were the aluminums, upgrades, the motor, the ESC, batteries. I bought from shops on eBay. Everything's brand new, nothing's used. But I'm learning that a lot of actual hobby shops and local places are on eBay and they sell brand new stuff. So most of the stuff in the SG4 I already had for another car. So it ended up working out really well and I was able to use everything in this one. So again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, just post them in the comments. I'm going to be doing some testing and tuning on them, both of them, this week, getting ready for the opener. So I will try to keep you guys updated on how that goes and how the cars are performing, and we'll go from there. I've got about a week and a half left before the first race, and I just want to make sure everything's ready. I got a buddy local here that is going to allow me to come out and run with him. He's got a private carpet track, so it should be really good for getting everything dialed in and tuned before we go down for the race. So we will see you guys in the next one. And like I said, I'll keep you guys posted as much as I can this week with what how the tune-in and setups go. I'm waiting on a couple of things before I can actually run them. I'm waiting on bodies. They're supposed to be here, I think, tomorrow. And I'm waiting on transponders for the lap systems. So other than that, they're pretty much ready to go. So we will talk to you guys in the next one.